So how many of you plan on ever getting a divorce?
No one ever plans on divorce.
I have marked my calendar.
No one ever plans on getting a divorce. And who believes that when they get married, if they get married, that their marriage will last forever?
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
That was a lot of hope.
Most of you? Umil, you're the only one who does
I'm
it?
sorry.
Oh, you too? You just, okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
It's okay.
No, what did you say? Go ahead, start over. I'm sorry.
If you believe that your marriage will last forever if and when you get married.
I'm divorced, so.
Okay, alright. So, for all the people that believe that you're going to be married forever, you have 1 out of a 15 chance that your first marriage will surpass 10 years. And in 2009, the marriage rate was 6.8 out of 1,000. And the divorce rate was a staggering 3.5 out of that same 6.8. So, on the off chance that you do get married, 50% of you, the statistics say that 50% of you are going to get divorced. And that leads me into my first point, that I'm biased because clearly the odds are against me. Not only do the marriage statistics not favor anyone in general, but when the statistics were broken down, black women are the least to be married, period. It says that white men have a 44% marriage rate, white women have a 51% marriage rate, black women have a black men have a 32% marriage rate, black women have a 26% marriage rate, Hispanic men have a 43% marriage rate, and Hispanic women have a 45% marriage rate. So, if you're a black woman, you might never get married. That's the sad part. And I'm also biased, not only because of the statistics, but because of what I've seen firsthand. My mother and my father are no longer together after 10 years. My grandmother and my grandfather, they got divorced after a long period of being together and putting up with each other for the sake of their children, and actually suffering as people in a relationship that they didn't want to be in. And, well, with that being said, my second point is that men are a headache. I grew up with nothing but black women, and I grew up with nothing but black men, and I couldn't ever see myself being with one man forever. And I don't mean that the way it sounds, but it seems hard, and it seems like you have to put in a lot of work, and I just don't believe that something could last forever. And I especially don't believe that something could last forever with the male examples I've been given. Not saying that they were bad ones. They were good fathers and good caretakers, but they were bad husbands. They weren't good husbands. They didn't do typical sitcom husbandy things, and life isn't like TV, but at the same time, these things may never work out for me. I also have first-hand experience on how I don't really feel like dealing with men. My first boyfriend cheated. My second boyfriend, he never cheated, but he annoyed the hell out of me. My third boyfriend was absolutely crazy, and I'm not gay, so marrying a woman is obviously out of my options. And I want to know why we all have to get married anyway. Why is it such an obligation, and why are we in a rush? And as I said, gay people, I am not gay, but gay people, they're a first-hand example of how tradition is changing and the world is being flipped around. So for us to still hold on to these traditional values when the world doesn't work the same as it once did, it doesn't make sense. And if you look at gay people in the LGBT community, they don't really have to get married to prove their love anyway. They just love each other, and why can't we do that? So that leads me to my third point, that if you really honestly love someone, and if you feel like you're going to be with them forever, why do you have to marry them? I think that it's a big, juicy contradiction. Oh, I'm getting married for safe legal purposes, and if anything ever happens, and that's where you should stop. If you feel like anything is ever going to happen in your relationship, then why are you marrying that person in the first place? So it's like, it's a contradiction to me, because you're getting married because you want to feel safe, but that doesn't make sense because the tradition of marriage is supposedly eternal. You're supposedly be with that person until death do you part. So if you feel like you're getting married because something might happen, then why get married? And I just don't understand married people in general. I don't understand anything about them. I don't really understand how they operate. I don't understand what goes on. So I just couldn't see myself ever being married. And in conclusion, I just want to say that, first of all, everyone changes. Nothing is certain. You can't foresee the future, and life isn't guaranteed. So if you're a gambler, then by all means, get married. Me, personally, I'm not a gambler. I like to feel safe, and I like to feel sure. So I feel like I will never, ever get married. And if your spouse is a level of crazy that you feel like you can put up with and never get tired of, then put up with them. But don't get married, because eventually you're going to be tired of putting up with them. And if you want to know why it matters, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You're going to get married if you want to, and one day I could be married with 6 children, and perhaps my husband won't even be able to convince me that we won't ever get divorced. But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter. It's up to your personal preference, whatever you want to do. And I just want to end with, I hope that the odds are forever in your favor, even though they're not. So, thank you.